Darth, Theorist, rise. What if Anakin could see and hear all Force ghosts? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. Anakin sits alone on Naboo as he watches the final embers that were once Qui-Gon Jin die out. He still can't believe his master is gone. It seems like just yesterday when he met the Jedi Master, yet he made such a great impact on the boy that he cannot shake him from his memories. Obi-Wan approaches him and places a hand on his shoulder, offering whatever comfort he can, though Anakin remains inconsolable. He wanders off to bed, closing his eyes as he soon drifts off to sleep. It feels like he was only asleep for a moment when he hears his voice. Anakin. His eyes shoot open, and he looks around, and there the Jedi Master stands, shimmering slightly, and pale, translucent blue. Yet his eyes appear lively as ever. The boy yelps and jerks back, his mouth open to a scream. However, Qui-Gon offers a smile and shakes his head.
Do not be afraid, my boy. I'm not here to hurt you.
How can this be? You're dead.
I am, but in death I have become more powerful. I am sorry that I was not able to fulfill my promise and train you. Even now, that is beyond my ability. However, that does not mean I am not willing to guide you however I can.
Obi-Wan said he will train me. He'll help make me a Jedi, and the rest of the Council seems willing to accept that.
Obi-Wan, selfless as ever. Whatever would I do without him? That is a very kind offer, but a part of me fears whether that will be enough, whether the Jedi is enough.
But didn't you train him?
I trained my student to be another Jedi. Once I had thought that was the best he could attain, that it was the best for him. Yet now I have second thoughts. You are not any other Jedi. You are the chosen one, and you must rise higher than what they have to offer you. That is why you cannot spend your days in the Jedi Temple. You must seek out the Force, wherever it is and in its purest form. You must learn from the living Force.
Then what shall you have me do?
Go and travel. Journey to the Bemiel system. I sense something stirring in the Force there. It shall be an excellent start for your training.
Anakin nods, confused by these commands, but he does not argue with Qui-Gon, who offers one final smile before disappearing entirely. When Obi-Wan hears this, he is confused, but Anakin insists on what he saw in his vision. Despite himself, Obi-Wan finds himself believing the boy. However, he also knows that the Jedi Council will not approve such an expedition, and that is proven true when they suggest it. They dismiss the notion and insist Anakin must train like a normal Jedi. Hearing this, Obi-Wan decides to leave the Jedi Order and take the boy with him. This leaves them without the resources or transportation to reach the Bemiel system. That is, until a voice behind them mutters.
Perhaps I can be of assistance.
Dooku steps from the shadows, bowing his head. He looks at the two and stares at Obi-Wan for a long moment. His eyes are fixed on him as he swears he can see bits of Qui-Gon in the boy. Eventually, he clears his throat and nods.
Yes, I understand your concern. I have long found the Jedi Council stifling. They are difficult to deal with in the best of times, and yet here they have become willfully obstinate. And I will not allow them to tarnish my student's legacy. Wherever you, I shall provide.
Master Dooku, that is an incredibly generous offer. I do not know how to thank you for it.
Think nothing of it. I do this for the same reason you are, to honor Qui-Gon's memory. I shall have a ship ready for you by the end of the cycle.
The two spend the rest of the day packing, and by the time the ship arrives, they are ready to go. Dooku joins them, and they bid farewell to the Jedi Temple. Anakin inputs the coordinates Qui-Gon gave him while the two Jedi meditate, contemplating Qui-Gon's parting words about the disturbance. They try to focus on it and get a better understanding of what they're facing. As their ship exits hyperspace, they at last catch a glimpse of the massive asteroid field. It would take them months to comb through it, but as they begin to focus, they sense something upon one of the largest ones and direct their ship towards it. To their surprise, they find that it has been hollowed out and turned into a residence. As they descend, it is clear that this place has long been abandoned, as a thick layer of dust fills the floor, and much of the station has gone centuries without maintenance. Dooku and Obi-Wan take the lead, the lightsabers in hand as they inspect the place, room by room. Anakin also begins looking around, but as he continues his exploration, he feels a cold breeze running down his neck. It is a strange feeling that someone is watching him. He tries to ignore it and sticks close to his companions, but something else pulls at him. While they clear a room, he lingers behind and starts to look around. It must have been someone's quarters, as he sees a bed and a dresser nearby. Both look expensive, despite their age, and as he looks around, he feels a strange pull in this room. Soon, the sound of Dooku and Obi-Wan's footstep disappears entirely as he stays behind. He has no idea what he's looking for, but soon enough he finds something under the bed, a glint of metal that he nearly misses. Reaching for it, Anakin finds a talisman with a strange gem inside. As soon as he holds it, he feels a great power surging through him, an instant connection. He grips it tightly and stares at it. When he pulls it close, a cold breeze washes over him, and he can feel his entire body tensing, as if someone is looking over his shoulder and whispering to him.
Take it, my boy.
He looks around, blinking, but sees there's no one there. Just then, the pair return, frowning as they ask what is taking him so long, but their words fall silent as they see the amulet in his hands. Dooku's eyes flash.
Where did you find that? Give it here.
Anakin moves to hand it over, but then the voice comes back.
No!
Suddenly, a cool mist flows from the ground. Obi-Wan pulls his lightsaber out. He looks for any vents where it might be coming from, but finds none. It simply materializes from thin air. He steps beside Dooku, who stands ready. From that smoke, a figure appears, hooded in a dark cloak and with yellow eyes. And yet, he has a kindly, almost grandfatherly smile. The man clasps his hands together.
At long last, someone who can see me. My boy, you have found my talisman, and I am the great Darth Vectivus. Don't bother alerting your friends. Only you can see me, my boy. Not unless I will it.
Darth, are you a Sith Lord? Like from my mother's stories? What do you want? Are you here to kill me?
Kill you? I spent centuries alone. Why would I kill the first person I could talk to? Besides, you must be a child of immense power if you can commune with me. Perhaps I can teach you.
Anakin, who is there?
He claims his name is Vectivus.
Dooku tenses, recognizing a Sith title when he sees one. Glancing around, he searches for his foe, but finds nothing behind the smoke.
You will help me learn about the Force.
I would hope so. The Force was one of my two great passions. The other was business and finances. I suppose I could teach you that too. Tell me, boy, what assets do you have invested?
Anakin reaches into his pocket and finds nothing. The Sith makes a face and then looks away.
On second thought, let us focus on the Force.
He spreads his arms out and suddenly appears before all three of them. Obi-Wan swings his lightsaber at him, but the blade passes right through him.
What are you? Peace, friends. I mean you no harm. My name is Vectivus. I speak to you because your companion here found my talisman and can hear my summons. I am intrigued by that. Few Force users have such an ability. I wish to learn more.
The Sith are not welcome here.
Not welcome. My boy, you are in my home and stealing my property. I think I am within my rights to inquire what you wish to do. Tell me, do I look like a threat to you in my present form?
Dooku frowns and regards the Sith warily. He can sense the darkness within him, just as he did with Palpatine before, and yet things seem different with him. There is certainly the dark side, but there is not the same viciousness and corruption of Palpatine. It is contained, disciplined, and careful. Rather than being concerned, he is intrigued. Slowly, he places a hand on Obi-Wan's wrist and nods for Vectivus to continue. The Sith explains that during his life, he had dabbled in Force necromancy, learning how to create Force phantoms, and because of that, he created this talisman to help him commune with beings who have become one with the Force. Since his life force was already tied to this necklace, communicating with him is easy, but Anakin might be able to learn with others.
I think we should trust him.
Master Dooku, are you certain?
I am. We were sent here to investigate this disturbance in the living Force, and we have. Perhaps it is a sign that we should consider this power and allow Anakin to learn. He has the gift, and it would be foolish to ignore it. That is the same mistake the Jedi would make.
Obi-Wan hesitates. He does not like the sound of this, but he is outvoted and reluctantly agrees. With their new ally, the four of them make the station their base, using Vectivus' knowledge of this place to help restore it, and showing them his archives to help guide them in Anakin's training. Dooku and Vectivus prove to be excellent trainers in the Force. The former Jedi Master has decades of experience in the Jedi Order and explains the nature of the Force. Meanwhile, Vectivus shows Anakin about the esoteric side of the Force. Ideas like raising the dead are things the Sith Lord has dabbled in before. He managed to summon the Force phantoms in life and finds the idea intriguing. And though Dooku doesn't say anything, he begins to consider the possibility that Anakin may grow to surpass even Palpatine. With this power, he can tap into fonts of knowledge that the Senate will never access. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan teaches Anakin about ideas like restraint and honor that these two are less keen on. From time to time, Qui-Gon appears, guiding him through his uncertainties. With this knowledge, they begin to further Anakin's training, and once he masters the basics, Vectivus suggests taking it a step further by having him train how to summon other ghosts as well. While Qui-Gon might be the first Jedi to harness the Force ghosts in their traditional senses, many other beings linger, their spirits tethered to the physical world somehow. It is these beings that Vectivus wishes to reach out to, those who still have power in this world and knowledge. Qui-Gon and Dooku agree. As time goes on, they begin to travel to these sites, using their combined meditations to find further disturbances in the living force. As unrest in the galaxy grows, they do not involve themselves in chaos. The number of border wars, corporate takeovers, and corruption scandals is for the Jedi. Palpatine is quick to take notice, frowning as his student never returns with Skywalker, and he begins to fear that Dooku is training him as his own. Yet, he can do nothing, as his attention is focused on sowing the seeds of unrest within the galaxy so that they may allow him to gain power. They start in an abandoned mine, where they immediately feel the Force crying out in pain, as if it were a dying scream. Anakin doubles over, as the air shifts unnaturally, growing thick and heavy. Beside him, Dooku and Obi-Wan ready their lightsabers. Anakin grips his talisman, feeling Vectivus' calming presence. Then he reaches out and begins to channel the Force, moving through the pain and feeling for its source. Somewhere amidst all that struggling, he finds it floating in the air among the midichlorians. Slowly, Anakin reaches out and urges the figure to show himself. Mist starts to pool around his feet, forming a bloody bith. His armor is sparking, and lacerations cover his body. The most terrifying part is his mouth, which is stuck in a scream.
Kill me.
Gladly.
Wait! Great One, what is causing your pain? Your spirit lingers here. What causes your suffering?
Force. Maxi-chlorians cannot control them.
He wheezes and falls over. Anakin reaches out and places a hand on his shoulder. Pain explodes across his body as he senses them. The Force powers flow around him, strong but also warped. It is unlike anything he's ever seen, wilder and unstable. It is like a pod racer built for speed, but lacking stability, ready to burst. You tried to experiment on the Force. It turned you like this. Tenebris doesn't answer, but the silence is all he needs. Vectivus appears at his shoulder and whispers,
Remember what I taught you about how to drain this power.
Anakin nods and lifts his hand from his shoulder, instead placing it upon his head, and there he begins to reach out to the Sith. His hand goes beyond the physical, reaching deep within his being and reaching out for the very Force powers that keep him bound to this plane. And then, and there, Anakin begins to siphon off his power. Tenebris twitches, but does not fight it. His body is trembling as pain lances across Anakin's body. Whatever the Sith did was potent, and it takes everything from him to fight it. Yet he can feel beads of sweat on his lips. That is, until a calming presence spreads through him. Glancing back, he sees Obi-Wan and Dooku lending him his powers. This steadies him enough as he continues to drain the powers and watches as Tenebris' form disappears. When he fades from reality, Anakin watches as the Sith offers a smile.
Do not make the same mistakes I made, boy.
When he fades from existence, all that remains is a fragment of his armor. Anakin touches it and feels that lingering power within himself.
A leftover vessel for him. I have heard some cultures believe that trophies of success contain the remnants of the deceased spirits.
They call it anting, much like my talisman,
though a more primitive version.
Anakin says nothing, but tucks the armor piece into his tunic as they continue on their journey. He travels next to Rusan, where the shades of the ancient war between the Jedi and Sith linger. While meditating upon its windy ruins, a dust storm begins to kick up, and Anakin watches as a spectral shade of countless Jedi and Sith warriors form. They swarm them, and while Dooku and Obi-Wan form a protective circle around Anakin, they are not interested in them. They are instead locked in an endless war, slaughtering each other again and again upon the dark sands. Anakin watches them fight. Enough! Anakin calls out, his voice ringing across the plains and starting to get their attention. At once, the fighting stops, and all the warriors, Sith and Jedi alike, turn to face him, their expressions shocked, but then they begin to advance on him. Wasting no time, Anakin reaches out and tries to feel their presence and what binds them to this plane. In contrast to Tenebris, it isn't blinding pain, but a different kind of agony. They draw out despair stretched
At last, a will strong enough to wake me.
Who are you?
I am Darth Bane, the beginning of the line that still binds the Sith. You stand in the presence of the one who forged the rule of 2.
Dooku tenses at the mention of that, recalling the conversation he'd had with Palpatine about that very topic. The memory still chills him to his core.
You, child, hear what the others cannot. You bridge the living and the dead. I offer you a bargain. Free me from this prison, and I shall give you my vessel, my armor. Through it, you will wield my strength.
No, Anakin. That thing is cursed.
Cursed. Or consecrated. The Jedi call everything they fear a curse. Careful, my old brother. You speak to one who surpasses even us.
You're all pieces of the same puzzle. You, the Jedi, the Sith. You've been fighting for balance for 1,000 years, and none of you found it.
Then perhaps you will. Free me, and I will show you the truth of power. The truth your masters hide. Enough. You deserve to know the truth, my boy. The Sith Lord who rules the Senate, the one who started the Clone War, it was Sidious, Palpatine, my former master. It is why I insisted that you leave Coruscant and help fund your journey. You must stay out of his reach until you are ready to face him.
Palpatine? That's not possible.
It is. He deceived us all. He used me, and through me, the galaxy burned. Qui-Gon, my master. Why? Because he promised me a future free of corruption. And now I see him sowing chaos. This is my redemption. If we can harness what you have, Anakin, if we can use it to destroy him, then perhaps we can finally end the Sith's curse.
And yet, Count, you are Sith still.
No, not anymore. I see the folly of our order. The rule of 2 chained us in eternal darkness. But if the Chosen One bridges both sides, if he can learn from all who came before, then perhaps the Force itself may be freed.
And what is balance? It is all defined by those who hold power. The Jedi consider their rule balance. The Sith consider their rule that as well. Yet in truth, the only one whose opinion matters is those with the power to dictate their beliefs upon others. Remember that, Chosen One. If you do, I will offer you my power.
Suddenly, his armor shatters into pieces until only a single obelisk remains. It skitters up Anakin's body and forms a talisman that hangs around his neck. The talisman flares, and the air fills with the whispers of countless spirits, Jedi and Sith alike. The vault trembles as if the galaxy itself holds its breath, and far away, on Coruscant, Emperor Palpatine stirs, the feeling a disturbance not of rebellion, but of awakening. Scipio sleeps under silver moonlight. The city is quiet, save for the hum of airspeeders gliding. Inside a modest, luxurious home overlooking the water, Anakin meditates in silence. The air is cold or heavy, thick. Then he hears it.
So, the prodigy lives.
Anakin's eyes snap open. The room is empty, or it should be. Then, from the corner, the shadows fold inward, and a tall Mun steps forward, his form shimmering with pectoral light. Who are you?
I, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Or I was.
Palpatine.
Yes, my apprentice. He killed me in my sleep, as is the way of the Sith. If you doubt me, look.
The Mun gestures, and the table between them glows. From the light, images form, holographic projections of banking ledgers, trading contracts, and coded transmissions. They show funds being funneled from Republic accounts into separatist droid foundries, under false names tied to the office of the Chancellor.
He is planning on creating a war so that he may gain power. It was my plan. I taught him how to manipulate credit streams and the economies of worlds. He used that knowledge to enslave the galaxy with fear.
Anakin reaches out, hands trembling as he gathers the datapad, each one real, physical, not just an illusion.
Take them. Let the galaxy see the truth. End what I began, and deny my treacherous student his prize. Be wary, young Skywalker. He already knows what you carry.
And then, the door explodes. The light shatters as Jedi pour in. At their head stands Mace Windu, flanked by Kit Fisto and Ajen Kalar. Anakin shields his eyes, the talisman flaring in reaction to the intrusion. Windu's gaze hardens as he spots the Sith amulet, the shards of red crystal glowing against Anakin's chest.
Those are Sith relics. You've fallen under their influence. You don't understand. Palpatine's behind it all. He is the Sith Lord you've been looking for.
But his words are drowned by the hum of sabers. The Jedi advance. Obi-Wan isn't here to defend him this time.
Please, listen.
Fisto lunges. Instinct takes over. The room bursts into motion, blue against blue, chaos and shouts, sparks flying. Anakin doesn't strike to kill, but every block and parry pushes him closer to the window. He seizes the datapads, throws the nearest Jedi back with a burst of energy, and leaps through the transparisteel pane. The glass shatters. He dives into the night. Below, a speeder waits, Dooku's voice through the comm.
Hurry, boy. The Chancellor knows. I know. The Jedi just attacked me, but I managed to escape. Meet me in Coruscant. We can confront him there.
No. The Chancellor is already moving. He is moving to the Outer Rim. The war has begun.
Palpatine speaks with the Senate, promising them to end this crisis. He offers to meet with Newt Gunray in the Outer Rim alongside other major players of this growing independent movement to nip it in the bud. The Senate erupts in applause. Few notice the faint smile beneath his hooded gaze. Within days, a neutral vessel carrying the Chancellor enters separatist space under white banners of truce. But as it lands on Raxus, the trap is sprung. Droids swarm the platform. The parley turns into chaos. The galaxy watches as HoloNet broadcasts declare Chancellor Palpatine captured by separatists. The Jedi Council scrambles. A strike force hurries to strike on the planet. The Jedi rush forward and storm the city, intent on freeing the Chancellor so that they can escort him to safety. And yet, as they burst through the jail and find him, they hear the sound of metallic feet. Thousands of them. The entire droid army mobilizes to confront them. It is a trap to lure them out and devastate their ranks. Palpatine smiles to himself, watching as they are surrounded. With their ranks thinned, he can appoint a Jedi Grand Master more suited to his needs. Blaster fire lights up the ground. The lightsabers flash, and they rush at one another. And then, through the storm of ships and explosions, a small craft hurtles out of the sky, spinning uncontrollably before slamming into the surface battlefield. The wreckage smolders. Jedi and droids alike stop fighting as the dust settles. The hatch bursts open, and stepping through the smoke are Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Count Dooku. For a moment, both armies freeze, separatists and Republic alike, and then Anakin begins to step forward. He begins to run as the talismans around his neck begin to glow. At first, he is alone, and then they come. In an instant, Vectivus and Qui-Gon are beside him, and then Plagueis and Tenebrous. Hoth and Khan join him and all of their forces. The ancient armies of Jedi and Sith charging side by side, bound by Anakin's will. Ghostly sabers ignite, phantom starships shimmer in the sky. The dead return to fight one last war, and the Jedi who live can only stare in awe as the dead rush by their side. Obi-Wan and Dooku take command, leading troops and spirits alike through the front lines. Where the living Jedi falter, ancient Sith powers shield them. Where the droids advance, old Jedi soldiers from centuries past hold the line. It's the end of the line and the final journey. Enemies living in the past. It's Jedi troops and Sith army joining at last. The Force itself seems alive again, unified, burning, singing. Amid the chaos, Anakin cuts a path through the ranks, his blade flashing as he moves towards the Chancellor's shuttle. Palpatine, playing the helpless captive, hurries as the Jedi still believe their priority is to get him to safety, but Anakin reaches him before he can take off.
The Chancellor is not what he claims to be.
The Jedi hesitate just long enough. Palpatine turns, raising his hands, and a storm of lightning rips through them. Their screams vanish in the thunder. He strides away through the smoke.
You should thank me, my boy. Every war, every death, all of it forged you. You are what I always wanted you to be. The most powerful being in the galaxy.
I'm nothing like you.
Oh, but you are. The same blood, the same hunger. Why fight it? Join me, and together we can rule the living and the dead.
No.
Palpatine's smile curdles into fury. His gaze falls on the ground, and then he lunges at him. His lightsaber appears from his concealed sleeve, but Anakin's own blade comes out to intercept it, holding it back and twisting it aside. He's surprised to feel himself stumble from the attack, but Palpatine comes at him again, raining down attacks on him while lightning arcs from his fingertips. Yet none of these moves so much as strikes him. Anakin moves with speeds impossible before. He catches each attack with ease, leaving the Chancellor to begin panicking as he feels his attacks meet empty air and the plasma of Anakin's weapon. Slowly, it dawns on him that he might not be able to win this fight, and then he sees it. One anting that Anakin never touched, Darth Bane's Orbalisk. As his attack falters, he dives low and makes a grab for it. Anakin tries to stop him, but it's too late. The insect buries itself into his skin, and in an instant, it begins to multiply. Hundreds of them swarm his body, fusing with him as they create a wall with their shells. The armor surrounds him, and he convulses as Bane's spirit rushes into Palpatine's. The two merge into one monstrous form, Sidious reborn in Bane's armor. The air explodes with power. Anakin staggers under the onslaught, driven to his knees. He blocks the next strike, but Palpatine finds strength with this and sweeps his lightsaber, energy exploding from its blade that sends Anakin reeling across the room.
You cannot destroy what I am. The Sith are eternal.
Lightning crashes down. Anakin screams as his blade tries to block it, but the attack is too strong and his weapon is torn from his hands. But then he feels them. Blue and red light hands converge around him, the spirits forming a circle. Vectivus, Qui-Gon, Plagueis, Tenebris, Hoth, and Khan all take hold of him and pull him to his feet, pouring their strength into his body.
Then I'll destroy what you've become.
He charges. The ghosts move with him, their weapons blazing in their hands as they swarm Palpatine. The Sith warrior's armor protects him from these strikes, but the sheer number of blows begin to overwhelm him. Plagueis unleashes a burst of lightning that sends his chest smoldering, while Qui-Gon hacks at his back and Tenebris slams him. Palpatine barely regains his balance and raises his weapon up, but Khan and Hoth strike in unison, opening twin wounds at his side. Anakin uses this chance to break through his defenses and slashes him across the chest. But each time the blow falls, his armor begins to regenerate. Palpatine takes a few shaky breaths, but then begins to steady himself. In an instant, his lightsaber is whirling around once again, putting them back on the defensive. Vectivus appears beside him, summoning legions of Force phantoms that surge forward, binding Bane Sidious in chains of light and shadow. The monster thrashes, screaming as the phantoms reach for him. They grab at his arms and hold him back. Others claw at his armor, tearing into the obelisks, and begin prying them off his chest. The moments are of pure agony for Palpatine, but it slowly exposes his chest.
No, I will not allow myself to be defeated, not by the likes of you, the weakest of the Sith, the one who never sought power.
Call me weak if you wish, but I never craved power, for I had peace. I was happy. I had balance. Now perhaps you may find that in the afterworld.
Palpatine feels them force him to his knees as Anakin leaps up.
No, you cannot.
The Force is one.
He drives his saber through the Emperor's heart. A blinding wave erupts, light and dark collapsing into balance. The talisman's powers begin to fade. The phantoms fade, one by one. Vectivus looks at Anakin, smiling softly before vanishing.
Well done, my boy. Well done.
The battlefield falls silent. The war ends. The ghosts begin to fade, their cries of victory echoing into legend as they head toward the afterworld. Anakin drops to his knees. He takes a deep breath and closes his eyes. As the last of the droids are defeated, he presents the evidence that Plagueis left him. but the Trade Federation fearfully confesses their role and Palpatine's role in this plot. With that, Anakin returns to Vectivus' residence, and there he begins to archive the deeds of all those who had come before him, both Jedi and Sith. He retires quietly into that life, joined by his companions, who honor those who joined him in this time of need. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.